Hello and welcome to the Beyond 6 Seconds podcast. I'm your host, Carolyn Keel, and on today's episode, I'm really excited to be speaking with Joseph Hill. Joseph is a photographer with autism who is known as the Unofficial Mayor of Southern Pines, North Carolina. He's currently the exclusive photographer for the Southern Pines Welcome Center, where many of his pictures are available for purchase as postcards. His work has been featured in PineStraw Magazine and on the front page of the Pilot newspaper. Joseph is on a mission to spread positivity and prove that individuals with autism and autism spectrum disorders can be successful entrepreneurs. Joseph, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for welcoming me, and it's a pleasure and a huge honor to be on your podcast. And I'm speechless a little bit, but mostly thankful and humbled, and thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's a real honor and privilege for me to be able to talk to you and to help share your experience with my listeners. I think I found you. I saw an article about you in one of the local North Carolina papers. I think it might have been the Pilot, and just so interested in your story and wanted to learn more about it. So thank you. Yeah. So I understand you were diagnosed with autism at a pretty young age. So I guess during most of your school years, you knew you had autism, and I guess the people around you knew as well. But what was your experience like in school as a young boy with autism going through the school system? What was it like?
Okay. I was diagnosed at 2, and really growing up in life, I didn't exactly understood autism. But I did knew and felt that I was different than everyone, from living life to going to school, where I felt I had different characteristics than my fellow classmates and schoolmates. So throughout school, I would just be as kind, as caring, like we all are in school, and I would do my best to follow the assignments, go to class like everyone, and just learn as much as I can so I can jump to the next grade and so on.
Yeah. Were there specific things that you struggled with in school or found challenging?
I think for some of us, math.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to like multiplications and division.
Yeah. I remember division was hard. It took me a long time to figure out how that worked and just get it in my head. Yeah.
Yes, it's so much to calculate, and you try, and then somehow you miss a number or so, and you try again, and you'll get it, and very challenging.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And do you remember getting any kind of special supports in school? I don't know, like extra time on tests, or even if you needed that sort of thing when you were in school, or they did that?
When it came to tests, I would take like your EOG test with everyone in the class. I did like go to special ed, like I would be with teachers, and I would like practice writing and do all kinds of writing, and so that kind of thing, yes. But more likely, I was able to take testing with all the students in my class.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Now your career is you're a photographer. So how did you discover your passion for photography?
It all goes back to my mom. My mom, Teresa, was doing photojournalism assignments for CCCC, Central Carolina Community College in Sanford. She did photojournalism assignments to where, like on any day or weekends, she would take her camera and I would go with her, with my dad, place to place. We would go places for assignments like around Bass, where I'm originally from. We would go other places like Sanford and also Southern Pines. And one of the assignments one day on a Saturday was at a lake, a crystal lake that's towards Bass, my hometown. That day, she would take photojournalism assignments, and I wasn't like the interest yet, because back then I was more of I could think of better things to do than photography. And so during one of the photojournalism assignments, heard a train coming, and I love trains.
Mhm.
So as it was coming, I wanted to take the camera and wanted to get the first few pictures of it as it came by. And so I did. And then afterwards, I couldn't wait to see how it turned out. And it turned out okay and just great. I mean, I was able to take pictures of a train for the very first time. And thanks to mom and that assignment that day, it's what changed everything from me not interested in photography to now it is an interest.
Mhm. Yeah, and how old were you when you took your first picture of that train?
13.
Oh, wow, cool. And what kind of camera did you have? Was it like sort of a smartphone camera or like a professional type of camera?
At that time, I had a small camera. It was called Cobra. You probably don't hear too many cameras with that name, but that's what I had at the time. It was a small Cobra gray digital camera.
Mhm. All right, very cool. So you said you were about 13, so that's around high school age. So throughout high school, did you keep taking photographs of different things or keep up with that interest at that time?
Well, at first, I took pictures because like it was like in the summer, and I think going in the autumn because it was like September when that happened, and it's been right at 15 years this year since I
Wow.
took the very first few pictures, and I hope to make an event, big event. So after that, I took pictures now and then. I didn't exactly advance till I got older and until after I graduated school. But during school, like middle school, it was kind of challenging by not just like assignments and all, because I would do my best to do my homework, follow the rules in class, and it's just the challenge parts was fitting in, and I just felt different than everyone. And like I have friends, but I didn't exactly socialize as I like to, and that kind of led me to depression in many ways. And it was just the advanced part of feeling different than everyone. And it came to where before high school, both my mom and my dad both suggested I be homeschooled the rest of high school. So I did school, and then while doing school and high school together, I did photography. I did continue, but I didn't advance until I get older. Like that first year, 2007, I took a few pictures, and the next year I took a few more, and next year and so on. So I took a few more pictures and just advanced in time.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that sounds like a difficult and challenging situation to be in with high school, and sounds like at least photography was there to give you an interest to kind of slowly develop and form over time. What kind of photography or types of things do you like to take pictures of usually?
I more likely photograph, follow what my eye follows, because I take pictures of almost you name it. Like I take pictures of sunsets and sunrises, nature, landscapes, food, trains, architecture, travel, sometimes people. There's much more. That's just main few I can name so far, but mostly it's all eye-catching photography, as I call it. You're following your eye on what you find is interesting. It's like something you've seen every day, but at a certain angle,
Mhm.
it's something we haven't all seen before, and it's really beautiful.
Yeah. So something that catches your eye in that way. I guess you must have developed an instinct at this point. How do you know if something is going to make an interesting photo when you are looking around and see things like that?
Well, for all of us, we all see things what we call mundane. Like we see certain things every day, like as we're walking by, or even if it's at home or if it's in town or so. Like say you see something every day, but at a certain angle, like if it's position up
Mhm.
or position on the ground. Like it's just something in a way you can describe beautiful about it, or just something you haven't seen before that's really interesting, and you take that picture.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, that's good to really have a good eye and see, sort of the interesting angles and interesting ways of the mundane things in the environment in our lives. That's
Yes.
Yeah. So you were starting and doing different photography throughout your high school years. What inspired you to pursue it as your profession?
For sure, my mom, she inspired me. And so back to that first year, as she continued her photojournalism assignments, I would sometimes take pictures of myself during her photojournalism assignments. Like we would go to Siler City, I would take a few pictures there, and then a rally, even though that wasn't part of the assignment, but I took pictures there. So it was like for any time we went out, was always a possibility to take a camera with you. At those times, I didn't always take a camera with me as I do now, but it was like a now and then thing with taking the camera with me where I went to, even if it was just to a store and back, or in town and back, or just out of county and back. It was all learning and growing experience in time.
Yeah. So you continue to spend time with your mom as she went on assignments. And I'm
Mhm.
thinking back to the article that I read where I first learned about your story. And I think there was one photo that you took. I think it was of a napkin holder that sort of it almost kickstart your photography career, or at least get the attention of other people in the town where you are.
Mhm.
So tell me about that story, like taking that picture and then what happened afterwards with it.
Okay, so I actually took that picture while I was with my dad, and both me and my dad were meeting with a family friend, Suzanne. She lived in town, the same town I live in now, Southern Pines, and at that time, all three of us were at the ice cream parlor, that napkin holder you see. We were talking, and while while both my dad and Suzanne were chatting, I saw that napkin holder and took one of my cameras I brought with me that time and just took a picture at that position. And the way it was positioned, that really caught my interest in wanting to get a picture before I left that time.
Mhm.
And it's, you can say it's one of those that did upstart photography level and my entrance to advancing in photography.
Yeah. So how did you share that photo where it sort of got the attention of some of the people in the town?
Okay, so about 7 years ago, back in 2015, my family friend Suzanne, who I just spoke about earlier, with my mom and need to get us talked about starting a photography business to where I could sell photos on everyday products. And that photo was selected. Suzanne and my mom and I would check out photos I've taken in past years, from sunsets to pictures of the park with ducks, and photos of my town. And we would select a few of those photos, including one with the ice cream napkin holder,
Mhm.
as one of the first few photos on products to be ready for Springfest event, an event that happens in my town that comes like in spring. And we wanted to give that a try as we start our photography business and want to be ready for our first event. And that photo was one of them.
Mhm. Very cool. So then I guess people saw it at the photography festival and it got some more interest from there, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a really nice festival. Springfest is, it's an event where entrepreneurs get to
Oh.
come and sell their products, he and her, where it's art or photography, like what I do, crafts, and it's really fun to go to.
Wow.
And it was it was an amazing moment where I got to go there for the very first time, because usually in past years I would go there, but as a spectator or possibly want to buy something. And I went from being a spectator to having my own booth there for the very first time. And that is truly life-changing and cool experience.
Yeah, that sounds cool. It sounds like a great event that gets all entrepreneurs together to sort of show and sell what they're working on. And yeah, that sounds really awesome. And what a great experience to be able, at still a relatively young age, to have a booth there and be starting your business. That'd be really exciting for you. So, wow. So we said in your bio that you often called the unofficial mayor of Southern Pines, North Carolina, and the official photographer for the Welcome Center. How did that come about? Like, how did you get that title?
Okay, so the next year after my first Springfest event, which was back in 2015, the next year, 2016, my family friend Suzanne, who runs the Southern Pines Welcome Center, she saw some of my photos I've taken in Southern Pines, and including the napkin holder, and wanted to buy some as postcards. And to this day, they are displayed there, to where anytime you can go there and visit and see them all on a special rack.
Wow, that's really cool. Do people call you the unofficial mayor of Southern Pines? I guess you're probably a local celebrity at this point with your photography.
Yeah, for me, I just go with like well-known. As thankful as I am to be recognized for my photography and what I do, I'm still your average person. like no big change, like no limousines, no no big houses, no mansions, no no like glamour or anything like that. I'm just thankful to be recognized for what I do. And that's what, in photography, that's what led me to reach this moment, even being interviewed right now.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I think that's great at, especially right after high school, to be building your own business and have it focused on a passion of yours that you've been developing for several years now. That's really cool. What a great.
It's a wonderful passion. And even before I graduated high school, the plans of a possible photography business was talked about with me, my mom, and my dad, to where one night, like over a month before I graduated high school, we started channeling ideas of how all these pictures I've taken in past years could be put into use. Because even by then, even before I graduated high school, I've been taking pictures for like a few years. And I took beautiful sunsets from where I live and sunrises, and we really saw possible ideas of what those photos could be put into good use for, like being put on shirts or postcards, note cards, calendars. That we just channeled so many ideas one night, and to where after that, the plans of a photography business was a go. And leading up to 2015, it became official with the very first few of my photos being on everyday products, from t-shirts, calendars, postcards, note cards, and mugs. And it's just, we went from talking about it to actually putting it into action.
Wow. That's great. Yeah, it's got to be so rewarding and exciting to see your photographs on like physical objects or like postcards and t-shirts, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and I also got a little nervous because of how things would turn out, because with pricing and all, and you don't know if that product's going to sell well and all. So there was some excitement and a little bit of nervousness of what could be the outcome. But we still, that's what we felt we wanted to do, and what I wanted to do. And as excited I was, I still didn't exactly have like the business mindset, because there's really a lot into photography business, with more than just taking pictures. And it's selling, it's keeping up with your photos and keeping up with products, and when trying to figure out when's the next event and if you'll be ready in time, and investments. It's just, there's just so much of it. And all that became new, was very new to me at the time, but a realization that there's much more to a photography business. And right to this day, I hope to continue doing my best to be both photographer and business savvy.
Yeah, you're right. There really is a lot that goes into, I guess, running any kind of business, especially as an
Yeah.
entrepreneur, and all these things that are, as you said, pricing and the running of the business and investing and keeping up with events. But yeah, it's a lot. And yeah, but it sounds like your family friend Suzanne has been supportive over time. Your parents have been supportive, and yeah, that's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And on your website, where you have actually a lot of your photos and you share a lot of photos on your social media as well, but also on your website, you say that you're on a mission to spread positivity and prove that individuals with autism can be successful entrepreneurs. So tell me a little bit about your advocacy around autism in that way.
Okay, sure. As long as I've been autistic, as long as I've been known about it, because in a way, like growing up, I didn't exactly understood the definitions of autism. Like I would hear the word, but I didn't exactly know the meaning until I got more older. And I just understand that for me and for just about every person with autism, we still live in a world where being ourselves can be challenging, like fitting in, and we're trying to make it in life. And there's ableism where because of us being ourselves, it's challenging to make friends, it's challenging to find work, and it's challenging to be on our own when it comes to that point. And I just want to be, as best as I can, be an advocate for not just autism, but for people with disabilities and all together, so that knowing that for all of us, that in life there are challenges, but we can still turn out. We can still make it. We can still be our kind-hearted self. We can still be the best we can be. And if I could be at least someone who lifts he and her up, then that could be something right there. I mean, you got so many good-hearted people with autism and with disabilities, and everyday people doing extraordinary things all around the world. And the best I could do, if not that, at least give people the courage to do good things, extraordinary things, and to know that there is someone, whether you know me or not, that does believe in you.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. I think you're right. There are a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions about people with autism and disabilities and what they're capable of. And it's always really important to have people like you who are succeeding in, all different kinds of fields, just as an example of, this is something that's possible if it's something that interests you as someone who's autistic. So it's really, I think it's really great that you're able to provide that example for people.
Thanks. I can say the same for you. I believe what you do is also uplifting. I'm sure right to this very moment, you're inspiring so many people with or without disabilities, and it's very touching. I thank you for all you do, and I wish you all the absolute very best.
Thank you. It's an honor and a learning experience for me. It's just, talking with people. It's not always easy for me to talk with new people, but every time I do, I learn so much, and I love hearing people's stories. And, I just love hearing what people are doing and what it's been like for them, and how they're inspiring other people too through the work that they do and all of that. It's wonderful. And I mean, obviously we're talking about autism right now on this podcast, but do you do other like speaking engagements where you talk about like autism and entrepreneurship or photography like that?
Well, last year, a friend of a friend named Delton, he does his own podcast, and I was interviewed for that because we follow each other on social media, and he was interested in doing a podcast, and we got together and we talked about the same things we discussed, like my journey being autistic and just in life itself and how each of us can better our lives and better others. And yeah, so I have been interviewed on a podcast before. This would be my second time. Thank
Oh,
you.
awesome.
I have done public speaking before, maybe not a whole lot, but now and then I have. One of the first few times I did public speak was at San Luis Community College, where back in 2016, I received a Marilyn Neely Award for my photography. And I didn't even know at the time. So when I received the award, I made a speech and I was so shaky at the time because I didn't exactly know that was gonna happen. But even though I was a little shaky, I still spoke words of encouragement for not just and thanks of winning the award, but I wanted to speak encouragement and confidence to all young and older people in business about success and knowing that it's a long way for all of us when it comes to succeeding in life and in business, and with courage and with the knowledge and taking it steady, you too can succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot of focus and dedication, but if you have your eye on what you want to do to succeed and you keep focused on it, that's something.
Eyes on the prize, and it doesn't hurt to have courage on the side.
Definitely. That always helps. Absolutely. So what other goals do you have for your photography long term in terms of things you'd like to do with it, things you'd like to photograph?
Oh, thank you. I often think about it just about all the time. One of the goals I really hope to do someday, photography wise, is to travel the country, this country. Like go to all 50 states and see what I can do photography wise in each of the states. And just go to every state and see what I can do from there. I really like to think I can do something like that. I don't know exactly when that'll happen, but I hope in my lifetime and photography world that can happen. If anything, I'll start with my home state, North Carolina first, and then travel down the south, and then I think go back up north, and then just visit every state and see what I can do from there. And who knows, I could probably even advertise for the state, for each state, including this, especially this one.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to see the country and photograph all the interesting
Oh,
things there.
oh
That's really
man,
exciting.
it's like you can picture that happening. Hope that you do get there. It's like you can picture yourself in every state, and you can just be photographing and just see something in a way that no one hasn't yet. Even though so many photographers have taken so many pictures of this and that in every state, and but maybe there's a chance I could take a picture or you could take a picture of something specific that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's funny. So many of us look at the same things over and over every day, but to really
Yes.
see things in a different light or angle, and it's special. It really is up to the eye of the photographer that's taking the picture.
Yes. Another goal I hope to do with my photography is, in a way, better communities. By being mayor of the unofficial mayor of Southern Pines, I like to, in many ways, continue using that title proudly by not just being a photographer, but do goodwill, like find creative ways to better community, and even with taking pictures, like help support small businesses and take pictures of that, or help local businesses or charities and special organizations. And by taking pictures of it, it can also help spread the word of how important that business is. And yeah, may even show interest to visit that said place. I mean, there's just so much good photography can do, and I hope to as best I can show that.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I'd imagine a lot of smaller businesses like may not have the time because they're so focused on other things, may not have the time to take pictures and advertise in that way. So I could see how that would help bring the community together and bring attention to that business or that organization.
Yeah, I mean, like every business does have their own social media page, and they do take their own pictures. I just I just often take pictures as I walk from place to place and just take a specific view, like the views you would see on my social media on how take pictures of ice cream parlor at a special view or at sunset and all, and other places with the right angle and all, and it really turns out. And I like think by doing that, it's not only helping the business, but it's also shows how great photography is, and just there's so many pluses you can put photography in a good use for, especially with your own community and your home state.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps bring people together in that way. Yeah. So this is really cool. Thank you so much, Joseph, for telling me about your story. How can people get in touch with you if they want to see more of your photography or maybe purchase some of it? Where can they find you?
Okay, you can contact me like on Gmail. Social media wise, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I have my own website. I think it's labeled josephhillphoto.com. I hope to expand social media sites in the future, but for now, you'll just find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and product wise, you can find my photo postcards, note cards at the Welcome Center, and I hope to, especially when we overcome winter, like as we go into spring, you'll see me more at pop-up events like Springfest, like I just talked about, or other pop-up events like in town or somewhere else, and I can share the word about that then.
That's great. Yeah, I'll put links to your website and your social media pages in the show notes of this podcast so people can just click on it from there and find your work there.
Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks again, Joseph, for being on my show. As we close out, as a final question, is there anything else that you'd like our listeners to know or anything that they can do to help or support you?
First, I want to say how thankful I am to be on your podcast because it's really it's really touching, and it means a whole lot to me because I've really come a long way. Because like 15 years ago, I would have never imagined something like this happening. I probably didn't even know the word podcast then.
Right, exactly.
I mean, they were around. I just didn't know the word, or I didn't listen to it then.
Mhm.
Anyway, I just look back of how thankful I am. And while as thankful as I am, I hope to, as best I can, keep influencing every good-hearted person in this world that he and she matters, and that he and her does have what it takes to live a successful life, including people with autism or any disability. And I like to, as best as I can, share the word with everyone that I do believe in you. Whether you know me or you don't, I really do believe in you. And I know that for any talent you have, both he and she can put it into good use and not only better his life, his or her life, it can also better lives, and it can also even make the world a better place and go a better direction. I really do believe that.
That's wonderful. That's really touching and just so motivational. So yeah, thank you for your photography. I think it's so exciting to see your business grow and the goals that you have for the future. So yeah, congratulations on the success you've had so
Thank
far.
you.
And I know you'll have much more in the future as well. And thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your story. I really enjoyed talking with you.
I enjoyed talking to you too, and thanks for having me. I look forward to returning someday,
Yeah, that'd
returning
be
to your
wonderful.
podcast someday.
Absolutely. Would love to get an update someday. Sounds great.